The rain is gone for now. It's a hot and humid Saturday evening in Chicago. Boston and the White Sox have split the first two in this series. Our Sox trying to make it two in a row. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. And what a rugged schedule this week for the Sox. At the Yankees for 3, home for Boston for 4. The Sox have held their own.
And Matt Davidson is helping to lead the way. This year, 19 home runs. 54 driven in, 1954, the year the Indians won 111 games, but that's not the opening. The opening is Matt Davidson with 3 hits last night, including this home run. That helped put it away. It was 6-0 at that point. Sox go on to win a big ball game, and Matt has had a couple of good series against the Yankees and the Red Sox. 6 for 19. He's hit a home run, hit a double, driven in 4, scored a couple. And he's getting an opportunity to do what he loves best, and that is hit the baseball, and he's hitting it well.
Do you have any random Cleveland trivia for Carlos Rodon as well?
I do. He one time went to Cleveland. It was a great city, and Carlos Rodon has had nine, count them, quality starts in a row, throwing the ball as well as he can throw it. This is one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Backdoor slider, a front door slider. Both equally as effective, and against the Yankees, he was absolutely brilliant. Trying to beat the Red Sox for the first time, and hopefully he'll be able to accomplish that. Eduardo Rodriguez just coming off the DL. He's 2-0, 17 innings. He's thrown the ball exceptionally well, but we don't know how he's going to be. It was an ankle injury that shelved him. Carlos Rodon at 0-2, ERA 3.38 against the Red Sox, but the way he's throwing the baseball, he probably will dominate tonight because he's throwing it as well as anybody around.
Sox and Sox game number 3 is on the way. It is September 1st, so the Sox roster has expanded. We'll tell you about some of the call-ups when we come back.
White Sox baseball is brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Test drive a Hyundai today. Xfinity has the largest gig speed network, serving more homes than anyone else. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. Wintrust, home of Sox checking and debit cards. Open an account today at wintrust.com/Sox. And by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional offers on select Audi models.
Game number 3 of this series, and as we mentioned before the break, rosters expanded today, so the maximum now is 40 men on a Major League roster after 25 for the first bunch of months of the season, but the Sox did it a little bit early. Michael Kopech's already come up from AAA Charlotte last night before the rain came, facing his former team. Fastball down the middle, see you later. And the guy who ended up finishing, Ian Hamilton, who said he was almost like watching himself pitch. It was kind of an out-of-body experience for him making his Major League debut. He looked very good, and now the roster has expanded. Aaron Bummer is back, Caleb Frere is here, and some memories to be made.
It's really nice to see the rosters expand because guys are getting a chance to come to the major leagues for the first time. Some are coming back for the first time in a while, and that's the case with the two guys that you mentioned. So you can never have too many arms. That's one of the things that the Sox are trying to shore up.
Sox will have that 40-man roster to deploy tonight against Boston, which has just a loaded bullpen. Lots of guys down there. Red Sox and White Sox. First pitch is just around the corner. The fastest internet and best in-home Wi-Fi experience. The Red Sox yesterday put up just one run on the late home run from Andrew Benintendi, and they will take their swings against Carlos Rodon, who they saw at Fenway Park in Carlos's first outing of the year. And Alex Cora's team in that series did not fare very well against the White Sox. Dylan Covey outdueled Chris Sale. The only game Boston won was the game Rodon pitched, but he only allowed 2 earned runs in 5 innings.
He threw very well against him, and he's on quite a roll. 9 quality starts consecutively, and right now he's getting everything over the plate. The slider has been close to unhittable, and he's really in midseason form. For him, it's a shame that this season is coming to an end because he's just on a big roll.
Here's the lineup he'll face this evening. Mookie Betts at the top of the card. He was drilled with the first pitch last night. Then Benintendi, Steve Pearce getting the start against the left-hander Martinez, Bogarts, Nunez, Kinsler, Vasquez off the DL, and Jackie Bradley Jr.
Let's take a look at the defense, and this is how Ricky Renteria is going to put him out there with Ryan, Adam, and Avisail left to right in the outfield. Then it's Yolmer, Tim, Yohan, and Matt in the infield, with Omar Narvaez getting the nod behind the plate and Carlos Rodon on the hill. He's 6-3, ERA a fine 2.70. Opponent sitting a paltry 178. The whip is 1.01. All things considered, it's been a remarkable year for the man who started it late but is making the most of what he's got left. There you see the four-seam fastball at 47%. The slider has been getting better and better, along with the changeup and the sinker, which are fairly interchangeable. The changeup has been pretty good. The umpires for the game tonight: Lance Barksdale has the plate, Sean Barber at first base, the crew chief Ted Barrett is at second, and Will Little is at third. So on a night, and it was iffy for a long time if there would be rain when the game started, but as we've moved along, they've pushed the rain further and further out. Michael Kopech would like to see a couple of games consecutively where the rain was pushed further out, but he's getting better. He went 2 innings his first start at home, 3 innings last night before the rains got him. But throwing the ball exceptionally well, the control's been perfect.
Well, it's good to have baseball and the rain shoving out of the forecast.
Especially when your team is playing as well as our Sox are playing. They want to see each and every game played. They want to see it played without any type of delays, and hopefully tonight that will be the case as Mookie Betts ready to lead it off. We're ready to play baseball, and I am ready to turn it over to the traveling man, Jason Benetti, who was recently in Wisconsin.
Aren't we all recently in Wisconsin? Thank you, Steve. Carlos fires in a first pitch strike, and we are underway at 6:10 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Mookie Betts, who Carlos did not see in his first game against Boston. Betts was on the shelf. As this Red Sox team now gets healthier and healthier, they have the catcher Vasquez back. Stephen Wright activated from the DL as well today, among others, joining the team with the September call-ups. Typically what you see, especially from contenders, which Boston is at 93-43, the best record in Major League Baseball, you see a fully stocked bullpen on September 1st.
You also see at least one or two burners called up. Red Sox don't need a great deal. What they have to have, and they're going to have, Chris Sale's going to come back entirely healthy from a couple of stints on the DL. They're trying to get him the arm strength back again, but he says he feels great, and I don't think there's going to be a problem when they do decide to bring him back in the rotation.
Red Sox 7.5 clear of the Yankees as play started today. As Carlos goes to 3-2 on Mookie Betts, Boston would need to go 13-13 or better to break the franchise record for wins in a season. And you would imagine for the team with the best record in baseball overall and since July the 2nd, they would get there.
That one got a good piece of Omar. That's fouled it off, and unfortunately, Omar got far the worst of it. Just off the right foot. That can't feel too good, I don't imagine.
Unless you have armor or padding on every part of your body, the ball will find whatever doesn't have it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it usually does. And for catchers, although they do have some padding, they can still feel each and every time they get hit. Sometimes more than others, but they feel all of it.
Mentioned, by the way, the Yankees and Red Sox, and New York has won today 2-1. Masahiro Tanaka beat Daniel Norris, so the lead is 7 in the East for the Red Sox at this moment. There is strike 3. He went back door and he punched him out.
That's how much confidence Carlos has these days in that slider, because Mookie Betts thought, well, it's going to be a couple of different things, none of which are this one. But the slider catches the outside corner. No complaint by Betts as he just walks on back.
But again, that's not the hard slider. He throws that hard slider around 85, 86 miles an hour. That one comes in 82 and clips the corner.
82, but it's coming from outside the strike zone, and at the last instant shaving off the outside corner. That's something that most hitters are going to give up on.
Now Benintendi takes ball number 1. The man who got in the way of the shutout last night in the 8th, Andrew Benintendi. After Dylan Covey went 3, Juan Minaya in his second inning allowed that home run. And Benintendi to right field. Avi's underneath for out number 2. So as you take a look at what Carlos has thrown month by month since being activated in early June against the Red Sox. In June, 4-seam fastball at 42%. That's climbed. The sinker has gone away here in August, and the slider more and more as he's gotten the feel for it.
It's nice to see the slider up at 29%. The changeup, not quite as much as it was in July, but he's gotten a lot of confidence in that pitch.
And if he gets that strike, it's going to be real tough to hit him.
If Lance Barksdale decides to give him one that's a couple inches off the corner, especially a backdoor slider like that, no hitter's going to hit that.
0-2 on Steve Pearce, the specialist against left-handed pitching.
He's also a prolific first ball fastball hitter, and Carlos did away with the thought of that by not going with the fastball. He's not going to go with one here either.
In the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Pierce, the well-traveled first baseman. Came up through the Pirates system. Made his debut back in 2007. Sanchez at third, across the way for out number 3, and Carlos Rodon a clean sheet in the first. Eduardo Rodriguez the opposition when we come back. And the White Sox, Anderson swinging it well, then Delmonico and Garcia, Davidson, Moncada homered yesterday, then Lamar, Narvaez, Sanchez, and Engel.
Let's take a look at the defense put out there by Alex Cora. It's Benintendi, Bradley, and Betts in a very talented outfield, with Nunez, Bogarts, Kinsler, and Pierce in the infield. Christian Vasquez behind the plate, and Eduardo Rodriguez on the hill, 11-3 this year, but he's been out for quite some time. He had a problem at first base, covering, and turned an ankle, and now back for the first time. There you look at the repertoire, the changeup, 23%.
Tim Anderson goes after the first pitch, and you know, we've talked about how dangerous it can be for base runners to go headfirst into first base especially, but it can be dangerous for pitchers as well. It was Lourdes Gurriel Jr. for the Toronto Blue Jays who tried to slide into first base headfirst. Rodriguez, off a throw from Blake Swihart, was covering the bag, had to hurdle Gurriel Jr. and came down awkwardly on his ankle.
Well, the Red Sox don't know if Rodriguez would even pitch in the playoffs yet. They really haven't put a number on him, whether it's a 3 or a 4. The only thing that really matters is if he is healthy enough and throwing the ball the way he did before he went on the DL, because he was throwing it pretty well. They're trying to get him to speed things up a bit under Dana Levangie, the pitching coach, and at times he does.
Something he was working on when he was injured. We'll see if he picks it back up, as your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Experience the difference today at rate.com.
Hard to prepare yourself for a changeup, but Rodriguez has a good one.
Fouled off, fastball upstairs to Tim. Yeah, that changeup he throws, the batting average against is .274, but he gets a lot of swings and misses. So when you make contact, maybe you get a hit, but swing and miss is pretty high. Two and two. Upstairs with a fastball for strike 3, and one gone in the home first.
He tries to get it on the inside part of the plate, throws it up and away from Tim and throws it right by him.
One down for Nicky Delmonico, who was riveted earlier today by the Georgia Bulldog football game. Nicky is a huge UGA fan. They played Austin Peay, and you can guess how that game went.
I heard Austin Peay was loaded. No,
The Governors
not so
are
much?
not as good as what you heard, I think.
The Governors are in for a tough year.
Yeah, they've been ousted. But there was a little clubhouse strife. I mean, a little strife. Carlos Rodon came in, and him being the starting pitcher, you would imagine that the starting pitcher gets to choose what's on the television if he were to want to choose. Washington-Auburn was on, a much better football game. Georgia was a blowout. But Nicky somehow got to keep Georgia on the TV, even though it was like 150 to nothing.
How about NC State, though?
They had already played. They beat James Madison.
But even then, Carlos should have seen the replay.
Ball and 2 strikes. It is a hot one.
Well, it makes up for being very hot by being exceptionally humid.
You can chew the air right now.
It's, yeah, it's got that feel.
Called strike 3 to the uppermost point and the outermost point. 2 down.
Take another look. Vasquez wants it away. Rodriguez gets it there, but Nicky thought it was a little too high. Unfortunately, Lance Barksdale thought it was good enough. Here's a man swinging it real well. Avi swung the bat last night about as well as he could swing it. He was literally squaring up each and every swing. I mean, they got him out one time, was on a line drive rocket to Bogaerts.
First one downstairs to Avi, and good to see him getting locked in once again.
It really is, because when he came off the DL for the first time, he was red hot, swinging it as well as he was swinging it when he went on the DL. But the second time he came off the DL, hasn't been the same. Until last night, he looked like he's starting really to get the feel for it again.
Batting in the 3 spot with Abreu still out after surgery now a couple of weeks ago. Two and 0. It's there for a strike from Rodriguez, who has quite the scoreless streak going right now. It's 3 consecutive starts. He didn't allow an earned run. July 4th, July 9th, July 14th. 19 straight scoreless coming into tonight.
Andrew Miller going to the Baltimore Orioles allowed Boston to pick up Eduardo Rodriguez. That was back in 2014. He hasn't been great for Boston, but at times he's been good. He was 10-6 in 2015.
Off the plate outside, 3-2.
Vasquez wants it away. Rodriguez gets it there, but not in the zone.
This is 85th start with Boston in his major league career. Payoff strikes him out, and Rodriguez guns down the side in the first inning. No base runners after 1.
on Duncan.
What's the E stand for?
Eduardo Rodriguez.
Thanks. You always know what people's hats stand for.
I'm a hat maven.
JD Martinez takes ball one. So how good has Carlos Rodon been over the past month and a half is the question that you asked.
Yes.
And the answer is one of the best in baseball in terms of hit ability. When you go back to July 11th, which was that start against the Cardinals, when he really trumpeted himself as back from that injury, and you look at the lowest batting average against for starting pitchers or guys who've been out to the mound a requisite amount of times, it's the lowest batting average against in baseball since July the 11th, 141.
Well, he might be able to get a little bit better than that, but you can't get too much better than the best in baseball. However, if possible, that slider's been even better than that, because really nobody's hitting it when he gets it near the zone.
Strike three. Yeah, there it is. Swing and miss stuff from Carlos Rodon, and one away in the second.
2 strikeouts, 4 straight retired, a disappearing slider, and JD is down on strikes.
So last 9 starts, all quality starts you talked about, a 184 ERA.
Pretty good.
You know,
An opponent's batting average is 151, which is just outstanding.
the slider batting average is truly insane. Opponents are 5 for 78 against his slider this year. That's an .064 batting average.
Pretty amazing. And so was Xander Bogaerts getting the boot in the ball game last night. First time he had ever been thrown out of a game. And he was not particularly happy with Will Little because it was hard to tell really what happened, what precipitated the heave-ho, because he was literally walking away, and then Will Little did ring him up, and that was it, which really incensed Xander.
Strike three, couple of change-ups for him. Rodon stalls Bogaerts, 2 gone.
This changeup keeps getting better and better. This one, late sink, late movement away from Bogaerts. He swung at the motion both times, and that's not easy to do, to get a guy to look that bad on 2 straight changes.
So we were talking about that slider, which he flashed to the previous batter, Martinez. It's always been tough to hit, right? 189 last year, the highest in his career, but .064 is a major drop. Ball 1 to Nunez. We're going to try and squeeze this game in before tomorrow.
I would like that.
Didn't do that yesterday. Just
nope.
Flipped to midnight.
We could not get it in before the next day.
It was a good effort, though. Yeah. The clouds are breaking. The sun's starting to peek out, which is a good sign, because earlier this afternoon the forecast looked a little dreary for tonight's game.
Forecast has gotten better and better, and at this point looks like we'll roll right through it.
Two and 1 to Nunez. Long homestand right now for the Sox, as the Tigers will be in town with a day game on Monday. 3-game series with Detroit, then the Angels over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Left field side, Ryan Lamar is underneath, and Rodon has gone through the first 6 unscathed. Our entire crew from Guaranteed Rate Field as Matt Davidson tries to continue his sweltering offensive play in this series.
It would be a good night for it because it is sweltering.
It is not a 3-dog night.
Nope. 6-horse night.
Well, you don't want to huddle up against 6 horses. That's why 3-dog night was named like that, because when it was cold, you used to huddle up with 3 dogs. And when it was really cold, they called it a 3-dog night.
I prefer the Clydesdales.
The only animal you would choose over a dog. The man who loves Dog Day at the ballpark more than anybody else, Steve Stone, just chose horses.
Well, don't forget that the horses do come with a Dalmatian on top of the wagon.
The bonus Dalmatian
That's
puts
it.
you over the top on the deal. 2-0 for Davidson.
Now Matt's in pretty good shape, especially the way he's been swinging it. He's been crushing the ball to right and right center, but his home run came to left center last night.
94 to the edge, 2-1.
Rodriguez's fastball is a bit lively because our guys haven't had particularly good swings against it.
Yeah, that has extra explosion there, 95. Sun setting here at Guaranteed Rate Field. Two and two, and Davidson takes inside. Don't forget, tomorrow is Hawk Day at the ballpark. Get here early. Pregame ceremony to honor Hawk Harrelson, and we look forward to tomorrow as we celebrate the career of the legendary man behind the mic for the Sox. Rodriguez, 4 straight strikeouts, so evidently the ankle's okay.
If it gets any better, this is going to be a historic performance. 4 hitters, 4 strikeouts, and he's just filling up the glove of Vasquez.
Yoan Moncada, who had that first home run against the Red Sox early in the game yesterday. We got a look at Moncada and Michael Kopech embracing yesterday, and quite the interesting series for them together for the first time on the White Sox with Boston here.
A little added incentive against a team that traded you away.
Good stuff, Rodriguez.
Yeah, so far he's throwing the invisible ball.
Seems like that would have been outlawed at some point.
It's a good game plan, though. They let you use it for a few innings.
One and two, Rodriguez to Moncada. First base side, Steve Pearce, foul territory, and he is there. 2 down.
Nice play by Pearce as that ball rotating back toward the field of play. Looked like it was going to go out, but then drifted back, and Pearce has a good shot at it. He locates where the rail is and makes the catch.
Yeah, that looks simple, and it's not.
Nope. That didn't land in the pocket of the glove. It landed on the outside of the glove and rolled to the pocket.
Two down for Ryan Lamar. Takes ball number 1. Ryan originally drafted in the 2nd round 2010 by Cincinnati. Did spend some time with the Red Sox in 2016. He had 5 at-bats with the major league club, but mostly spent the season with AAA Pawtucket. He hit 10 homers that year in AAA. In fact, his largest home run output in any season, tied with a AA year from 2013 when he played for the Pensacola Blue Wahoos.
Very strong team.
They're very excited.
Too. You're not kidding.
A little sad, but very excited. 2-2 is low and in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Rodriguez is ramping up the pitch count, shall we say. Omar waits on deck. See if Lamar can be the first base runner of tonight's game for either team. No. 5 strikeouts and 6 batters for Eduardo Rodriguez.
$9.99 and the 300th texter is going to win a $30 gift card. Subway, so much sandwich.
So much sandwich.
Amazing how much sandwich there really is.
You wouldn't even believe how much sandwich.
Nope.
So no score, no base runners, no nothing so far. Rodon versus Rodriguez. The artful left-handers. 6 up, 6 down each of them. Hey, the sun's poking out.
Turning into a beautiful night.
Yeah. Ian Kinsler takes a sharp breaking ball for a strike.
That's how you stop a first ball fastball hitter from even thinking about it. Just throw him anything else but. He did it to Pierce. He now did it to Kinsler.
Carlos looks like a maestro tonight.
Well, between the slider and the straight change, he has had very little need for that fastball, which, by the way, will pick up about 3 or 4 miles an hour as he moves along in this game.
You've got to have fun right now as a pitcher, knowing your stuff's that good.
And your location is pinpoint.
Speaking of pinpoint location, that was directly at the "You Are Here" sign that Adam Engel was standing under. 1 down. So September 1st, call-ups, at least a couple of them so far. Aaron Bummer recalled from AAA. Caleb Frere, for the first time, ends up in the major leagues with the Sox, and Nate Jones goes to the 60-day disabled list to free up a 40-man roster spot. So Caleb Frere is the rare guy who may make his major league debut off a suspension. He was having a good laugh before the game because he was suspended in AAA. That's not why he was laughing, but the situation's rather funny because he hit Austin Meadows in AAA. The bench is cleared. Frere ended up getting suspended. And Mark Rudzelanek called him into the office and he said, hey, good news. The International League's going to lift your suspension. And Frere was like, oh, good, you know. Rudzelanek then said, but you aren't going to pitch for us. Frere's like, what does that mean? What happened? He said, you're going to the big leagues. They want you in Chicago. So Vasquez a pop-up. Davidson is underneath for round number 2. Memories to be made. Last night we saw Ian Hamilton. Caleb Frere, whenever he hits the mound, he'll make his debut.
Just very exciting this time of year to the guys getting their first opportunity, or getting an opportunity after not having one for a great deal of time. And that's why that September 1st date is so important, and you can expand your rosters and bring up some guys that haven't had a look.
Can Adam get there? The answer's no. Jackie Bradley Jr. outdoes his counterpart, and he bolts for third. First base runner is a 2-out triple for Jackie Bradley Jr.
A good attempt by Adam Engel, but he came up short and then couldn't get to it. But realizing that Bradley can run, you want to make sure you keep him off the scoreboard. So when Jackie Bradley sees the ball get by, then he turns on the afterburners and pretty much coasts into third base. Realizing he's not going to be able to score on that one, he's content to pull it up.
So Marcus Lynn Betts, the RBI opportunity. First ball squared up by anybody was Kinsler to lead this inning off. Benintendi hit the ball fairly well in the first inning, but Jackie Bradley Jr. with the triple as the first base runner tonight. Called a strike, shocking to Betts.
Carlos just nodded his head. He probably didn't think he was going to get that call, but it evens the count.
That's a little bit further inside. 2 balls and a strike. The avid bowler, Mookie Betts. Got a couple of 300s to his name.
He's just a very, very talented athlete.
That's there for a strike. Dropped in on the inside edge again. 2-2. What a matchup this is.
Well, you got one of the league's best, a man actually who is leading in batting average, and a guy who is as hot as any pitcher around. So a classic confrontation. Rodon and Betts.
2-2.
Mookie does not strike out a great deal, but a buried slider here will most likely get the job done for this at bat.
Stayed up. He lasers it to left, and Ryan Lamar coming forward to make the catch and end the inning. Rodon gets the better of Betts, and Omar leads it off, bottom 3.
Sponsored by UI Health, providing expert care for you and your family. UI Health, changing medicine for good. Learn more at uihealth.care.
Fun game so far. Well pitched. One base runner. That's it.
And hopefully the boys can figure out that fastball of Rodriguez, because he's using that primarily and throwing it by our guys.
What is it about that fastball that's serving him well?
Got to be late life and some deception, because they're just not picking it up.
Strike one to Omar. 94 low in the zone. That's there. 0-2. Vasquez with some soft hands behind the plate.
He's a good catcher. He was supposed to be their number one. It hasn't worked out that way for him, but he's got all kinds of talent. Throws it very well, gets rid of it quickly.
Nearly clipped the corner. 1-2. I remember as he was coming up through the farm system, heard so much about his arm behind the plate and how much talent there was in that arm. One-two. That's there. Strike three. 94 to the corner. Rodriguez, little paint job on a Saturday. 6th strikeout.
Perfect spot. And Omar, who has got a very good eye, doesn't let many of those get by, but they're not picking up the fastball from Rodriguez for whatever reason.
So it's Yolmer Sanchez. Sox still without a base runner. In the air, right of center, Jackie Bradley Jr. dancing into place for round number 2. Yolmer Sanchez, the winner of the Heart and Hustle Award for the White Sox in 2018. Got it from Harold Baines, and the picture is his replay getup, and that's a lot of emojis. Some hands and some party hats. Yolmer Sanchez, the perfect logos for him.
They are that.
What a guy.
Entertaining fellow is Yolmer.
He's always got something in his mind that nobody else would think of.
Well, it's been a very entertaining year for him, because he's got a chance to play a lot more than probably he ever dreamed he would play in any given season.
You can always hope,
Yep.
but the opportunities opened up, and he's played well for the Sox this year. His angle takes ball one.
Also played often. 131 games Yolmer's played in. So with the team playing their 136th, Yolmer has been ever present.
Ball and 2 strikes on Engel. There's Ricky Renteria, who's got the Sox playing 6 games over 500 last 28 games. 17-11 the last 28.
Things going pretty well. The team has tightened up the defense, and with it, starting pitching has been magnificent.
And with the starting pitching improving, you go out and you have a chance to win every day.
And this ball club has been in just about each and every game for as far back as you can remember, and it's because the starting pitching has been giving up very little. Even with Jose Abreu out of the lineup, I think what you're seeing is the guys actually bearing down more, because they're not with a dearth of runs scored. I mean, they're scoring a lot of runs.
Sometimes you can get the expectation that one guy is going to do it all. It's more prevalent in a full team sport like basketball, where you get caught dribble watching. But there are some times in baseball where you take that guy out of the lineup and everybody else elevates their game, as Rodriguez has gone 1 through 9 in order for Boston.
follow him on social media because Nationwide is on your side.
You got a lot of stuff you can win playing Sox Math tonight. I'm Jason, he's Steve, and loads of stuff. Sox hat, Tim Anderson bobblehead doll.
Tim Anderson bobblehead doll is a really great addition to your collection. So if you win, if you're fast enough, smart enough, and accurate enough, you can have that.
And if you're not,
too bad.
That's the slogan. If you're not fast enough, too bad. Ball one to Benintendi, who lined out to right field his first time. Grab a hot dog. Enjoy the game.
A quality dog.
By the way, that deadline passing yesterday as the Sox were finishing up the deadline to have a player on your roster in order to be eligible for postseason play. In the air left side, Ryan Lamar is underneath, and he has out number one. Here's your Sox Math question, brought to you by your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional deals. Number of games the Sox have won from Boston this season multiplied by the number corresponding to the first month they'll play next season. Do you know the 2019 schedule and how well?
Absolutely. Every stop, every series.
So you got it?
No, I have to recuse myself.
One down for Steve Pierce. I was saying about the deadline to have players available for postseason play, because I was looking at what the Brewers did, of course involving the Sox with Xavier Cedeno going there. It seems like every week or so the Brewers have made another trade. They got Gio Gonzalez, they got Curtis Granderson.
Yeah, I mean they just went all out. They pretty much picked up everybody that was able to be picked up.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple people in New York who had recently seen the Brewers, and it's an interesting situation because I think it's an example maybe of, as you make these deals, do you take away the atmosphere of the clubhouse? Do you take away people in spots they were in, they might have thrived in, that they can't anymore?
I just don't see that affecting a ball club. I think that teams are at the point where if they're not there, if they're not in command of their own destiny, and Milwaukee is not at this point, they will welcome anybody coming to the team to help them get to where they want to get to. So I think, look, fill up whatever the holes are and make sure you're as strong as you can possibly be if you have the tradable commodities and you can pick up a few extra dollars on your payroll. So, I mean, that's the game plan. Just try to get there, because if you get there, these teams are so close, especially those teams in the National League that are going after it. Anybody can literally beat anybody in a short series. So if you get to the dance, you can go deep. Just get there. And that's what Milwaukee is at least trying to do.
Yeah, in their division, they're trailing, but they are a wild card team as it stands right now. You'd like to avoid that as Pierce takes a crippling fall at the plate.
He went down and trying to get some feeling back. That hit right off the area that probably will be a bunion as he gets older.
Oof.
But right now is just singing to him. Oh, yes, Chris, that does hurt. I mean, really hurts.
He knows it because he's done it to somebody before.
Well, yeah, his back foot slider really is a back foot slider.
That's right.
Because he's hit a few folks with that slider.
These guys are in such good shape, and you see something like that happen, the body just goes limp. Like, you have no control over anything anymore as you got hit in the foot.
I was going to say, you can be in as good a shape as you want to, but there's no way you're going to strengthen that particular area. So Pierce now going to jog a bit, see if everything is all right. It appears to be. You know, the Red Sox did something interesting.
They brought in like 93 interesting things to their fans this year.
They brought in Tim Hires as a hitting coach. Chili Davis, who had a different philosophy, a philosophy that the Red Sox used to embrace, which was go deep in the count, grind out at bats, wear down the starting pitcher, get to the bullpen, make sure you take your walks, and eventually maybe you might hit it out of the ballpark, which is something they had a big problem doing last year. And Hires has decided, look, they talked with Mookie Betts especially and said, you get something early in the count, you've got to go after it. You've got to hit it. You've got to get that first ball fastball in the zone. If you like it, unload on it. That's something the Red Sox didn't do before, but now we're seeing exactly what that new philosophy has done to this offense. That and over 100 stolen bases. They can score a lot of runs, and they have a different offensive outlook these days.
Sanchez at third off the backhand side. Picks up the out. Peers to second base. Martinez sidestepped by Rodon. Sox fans, join us. It's halfway to St. Patrick's Day, Saturday, September 8th, a week from today, 6:10 p.m. as the Sox take on the Angels. First 10,000 fans, 21 and over, get a White Sox snapback hat presented by Goose Island Beer Company. Goose Island, Chicago's beer. Get your tickets right now at whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME. More and more, as the secondary stuff gets better and better and more difficult to recognize as compared to the fastball, you would imagine Major League Baseball might glide that direction. That swinging early in the count to the first good pitch you see could become more prevalent.
Oh, I think we're definitely going to start seeing that. These quality pitchers, secondary stuff is so good. If they get you in a situation where they can wipe you out, if they don't make a mistake, they are going to wipe you out. That's why not allowing them to get there is probably the best game plan.
I mentioned him before. There's his Twitter account, Pitching Ninja. Rob Friedman runs it, and he does these overlays of two separate pitches.
Wonderfully creative, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of Pitching
No,
Ninja.
I am.
He took Michael Kopech's fastball and slider from last night, and you see the point where they finally diverge, and it is extremely late for the hitter as Davidson gives way to Moncada, who makes the catch, and that ends the inning. So still nothing on the board for Boston and the White Sox. Professional grade. It's the on-base percentage leaders in the Southern League. Zach Collins, a postseason All-Star in the Southern League for AA Birmingham. Nick Solak, former Louisville Cardinal, on the list as well. And a beautiful Southern League logo from that prestigious league in AA. Zach's had a nice season. He's been what we thought he would be on base percentage-wise.
Well, look, he started off, it was very slow for him. He just wasn't doing what he knew he could do until he went back to the the old style that he had when he was in college, and it seemed to work for him. He's always had a very good eye, and he's got some big power.
Check swing, no go, 1-1. So we were looking during the break at that overlay of Michael Kopech's fastball and slider and how late the thing breaks.
Well, it gives you an idea. I mean, when you see that from Pitching Ninja, it gives you an idea how really difficult it is to get up there with a bat in your hand and try to hit a quality major league pitcher's stuff, especially his best stuff. And the one thing that you saw from Kopech in that particular screen that we had was the lateness of the break and the inability of the hitter to adjust to it. And the one that they showed was a perfect slider.
Strike 3 on the inside corner. That's 8 strikeouts for Rodriguez. He has been lethal tonight, but
we'll take another look. You see where Vasquez wants it, and he fills up the glove. I mean, just coming off the DL, I'm not sure exactly how they had him prepare for this outing, but however they did it, they had to put it in a time capsule and say, okay, this is the way everybody prepares for an outing, because the release point is good. The location is pinpoint and has been all night.
this is against a Sox offense that has been hitting the ball well.
Well, the Sox offense that, as we know all too well, is prone to the strikeout.
Yep. Challenging this year to break the club strikeout record. Probably don't need the long sleeves tonight here at Guaranteed Rate Field.
Not yet.
But maybe up there it's a little chillier. Didn't know how high up they were as Avi had to duck on that foul ball. The Xfinity Kid Zone. You know, that'll change the way you experience TV.
It will. I think it's what, about 30 degrees up there?
I think maybe. Fastball high, 1-2. The point about Kopech, though, the stuff is so good, and you see the fastball and you look at the numbers. He's got one of the highest spin rates on his fastball, which suggests late movement. There's strike 3. Rodriguez has been a machine gun tonight.
That's 4 strikeouts looking. And it's not a stretch to say that these are all pretty good pitches. I mean, that, if anything, maybe what, a half an inch outside, but most likely it's right there. Too close to take, certainly. And Rodriguez has enchanted stuff tonight.
Well, you talked about filling up the glove. He is hitting the dead center of that thing.
Wherever Vasquez puts it, that's exactly where Rodriguez is throwing it.
Put it behind Avi that time, and he threw it in the dirt.
Well, Avi can't believe that the call of Sean Barber is that he swung. He felt he checked it up, and he looks down at Sean and says, I don't know. Let's take another look.
That's usually a no-go.
Flip a coin. It did not go Avi's way. He's had a few of those recently.
That's there, a strike, 0-2, and Avi is in total despair. That was a pretty good pitch, though.
That had a piece of the plate. It's exactly where you want to throw it.
Oh, 2. He's tied a season high in strikeouts through 4 innings. Eduardo Rodriguez has punched out 10.
handsome animals.
Here to help encourage contributions to and honor Folds of Honor, which supports our veterans. And Grace Ventura, who is Robin's daughter, is part of that group. And here to throw out the first pitch to make Dad proud. Strike one or so.
He swung at it. Has to be a strike.
A good slider.
Yeah.
Here's Nunez, and how often do you see it? After a guy named Eduardo strikes out 10 in the first 4 innings, in the 5th, another Eduardo leads off.
Only here on the big stage. The big stage, by the way, was being dragged by the Clydesdales.
That's true. All the world is a big stage. No score, 5th inning. Carlos Rodon, Eduardo Rodriguez, and what a pitching performance so far.
Only one hit. That coming off the bat of Jackie Bradley Jr., that triple. That's been it.
Again, you look at what Kopech and Giolito and Rodon have done so far in this series. This is not just a bunch of guys from the neighborhood. You know, this is the best offense in Major League Baseball.
Starting pitching has not allowed a whole lot of base runners, which is good because the Red Sox have great speed.
To left field. Lamar back on it, and this is up and off the wall. We'll see if they do call it a home run. Nunez into second base. Where that ball hit, it looked like it might have been over the line and bouncing back.
Well, Ted Barrett went out there to take a look at it. He seemed to have a pretty good look, but I think we're going to probably take another look at it.
I thought that hit over the line.
He goes down, gets what appears to be a low fastball.
Yeah, it's a home run.
That is a home run, yes.
With the way that bounced, it couldn't have been off the padding, and it wasn't. So that's going to end up being a home run for Nunez, and the Red Sox will take the lead in this game. New York.
That was a tough pitch to hit, by the way. I mean, he took it right off the ground and hit the daylights out of it. Nunez will undoubtedly have his 10th home run, 42nd driven in.
Very quick home run, says Ted Barrett, and the Red Sox have taken the lead. Now that's one of those situations where New York, when a play like that starts to happen, they have it queued up and ready to go. They've looked at it a couple times before the umpires get on the headset, and that is as quick of a replay situation as you're going to see. Nunez fired up, and the Red Sox take the lead.
Double figures in home runs with 42 runs batted in. And first team on the scoreboard, the Red Sox.
One in, nobody out. Ian Kinsler. Ian Kinsler's had a couple of really nice seasons, worth more than 7 wins according to WAR a couple of years ago with the Tigers. As a 5-win season with Detroit in 2016, 7.2 with the Rangers 2011. To third, Sanchez is on it to collect out number 1. Here's your Audi Sox math answer for tonight, and your winner, D. Becker, 98-92. Same year the Indians won 115 games. 3 games the Sox have taken from Boston this year so far, multiplied by 5. May is the first time the Sox will see the Sox. That's here at Guaranteed Rate Field next year. The answer is 15. Congratulations to D. Becker, 98-92. 1 out, 1 in. Vasquez has to hop out of the way. for a strike, 1-1.
Vasquez last year hit 290. That was tops for all American League catchers. So the talent is there. And he was afforded that #1 spot. But then physically, he's had some difficulties.
Sprayed foul toward the non-used tarp. And a catch off the bounce gets you a round of applause here tonight. One and two. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Kicked up some dirt for strikeout number 4.
Omar able to smother it, and Vasquez abandons the at bat.
When that pitch is working, Carlos is unhittable with 2 strikes.
They've only gotten a pair of hits, a home run and a triple, and that's been it.
Triple came from this man. And that ball is crushed. 2 balls lit up by Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 homers in the inning for the Red Sox. It's 2-zip.
#12 home run of the year, 55th driven in, jumped on the first ball, and rode it out of the park. So Bradley came in, despite that batting average in the 220s, he came in throwing it real well. That appeared to be a slider that kind of stayed middle in and gone to the bullpen.
Just the 2nd home run on a slider Carlos Rodon has allowed the last 2 years.
One of the few that hasn't worked all that well that we've seen recently.
That was actually a strike, and the reach didn't allow for the call. Nunez and Bradley with home runs in the inning. He didn't go.
Well, Betts is able to check up that swing because he went a long way. It looked to me like he was all poised and ready to swing at that. Started his swing, but somehow was able to check it up on that very difficult slider.
I'll see if Carlos can stabilize himself. Hey, join the White Sox Volunteer Corps in Huntington Bank to team up September 11th for some hands-on improvement work at the Primo Center Shelter for Women and Children in Englewood. For more information, visit whitesox.com/volunteercorps. On 3-1. Settles in for a strike, 3-2. "18 pitches to Mookie Betts, first 3 at bats. Got a piece of that breaking ball. Payoff. Sox still don't have a base runner tonight. Boston with 2 homers in the inning, but 12 up, 12 down for Eduardo Rodriguez, Carlos's opponent. Another foul ball for Betts. .341 batting average entering play tonight, best in baseball. 8 points ahead of his teammate JD Martinez. He was second in on base percentage to Mike Trout and second in slugging percentage to Martinez.
What a year for Betts.
Omar couldn't hang on. Nothing. Something.
In the meantime, this particular at bat by Mookie Betts has been a very good one. Ninth pitch of the at-bat forthcoming. And Mookie able to stay alive, spoil some very good pitches. 10th pitch of the at-bat coming.
Three and two. Fouled away.
Nice battle.
Carlos wanted a new ball, then Omar dropped that one and threw it to him anyway. So how's that going? Tense moment, 11th pitch of the sequence, and the ball ends up on the ground to laughter. Third base side, this one ends up on the ground to an error.
You know, that time Yolmer had all kinds of time, but he rushed the throw. It was low. Matt could not pick it up, and the inning stays alive. It goes E5.
More time than he thought.
Carlos thought the inning was over. It's not.
Benintendi, the left-hander. Pitch number 75 coming. We'll see how many extra pitches Carlos has to throw. The answer seems to be one. Adam makes the catch. Count along with us. One extra pitch. 2-0. Swinging strikes, 13 called strikes. Those are massive numbers.
Just an unbelievable start for Rodriguez. Let's see if he cools it off a bit this inning. Second time through.
Called inside, 2-0. Well, his career high in strikeouts is 13. Rodriguez. He started 19 times this year before tonight. The Red Sox record in those starts is 16-3.
I mean, he got up to just a wonderful start this year. No telling what it would have been without having that misplay at first base.
Davidson blooped second base and in. First base runner tonight for the Sox is a single for Davidson.
He doesn't get a whole lot of it, but he does get enough of it. This one, inside fastball, he muscles it over the head of Kinsler. The first base hit.
First anything for the Sox after 12 up, 12 down to the tune of 10 strikeouts in the first 4 innings. Okada takes ball 1.
Be interesting to see the first time from a stretch if, with a man at first base, he's distracted at all control-wise, because the control was absolutely letter perfect up until the Matt Davidson base hit.
There's a strike at 93. Well, Yoan last night. So first inning, Sox already had a run. 2-out, 2-run home run against his former team. And if you look at where the home runs have come this year for Yoan, it is mostly down the middle. However, you see the one bad ball home run he hit, and the good news there is the power comes from just about every spot in the strike zone. On a ball and 2 strikes. Second base, Kinsler and Bogarts, and a double play. Hey, White Sox fans, celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night Friday, September 7th, presented by Cerveza Modelo. There will be Latin music and dancing, special activities, an on-field parade, and a post-game fireworks show. Modelo Especial, good guys wear black, and choose gold. Tickets start as low as $10. Visit whitesox.com/NHH. Check swing, he may have gone. Here's your answer. Lamar, strike 1.
Outfield playing a couple of steps to the right of center. The big gap is in left center field, and Benintendi is well off the line in left. And there you see, as we show you the defense, not an exaggerated shift, pretty much straight up the middle in the infield.
Vasquez tried a little sleight of hand that we all saw and didn't get the call. 1-1 to Lamar. Right field and foul, 1-2. So Davidson breaks the perfect game here in the 5th. 2-0 Boston on a couple of home runs in the top of this inning. Off the plate outside, 2-2.
Went for a backdoor slider, and fortunately it did slide around the plate.
What do you follow that with?
High fastball.
Inside.
He went to a low fastball, but
Fastball nonetheless.
yep.
Eduardo Rodriguez, the former Oriole farmhand, he made it to the majors. His first full season in the Red Sox system. Payoff. Flipped foul.
Another one of those sliders, but Ryan was able to reach out, just barely getting a piece.
James Shields, Carlos Rodon talking it over. That's inside, ball 4. Rodriguez with the first walk tonight for either pitcher. Tying run to the plate with Omar.
First time up, Omar just saw some perfect pitches. I mean, there's not much you can do. He called out on a fastball, but control was perfect for Rodriguez to Narvaez in the second. Third, rather.
Looked like that. A little bit higher, a little bit more toward the corner. Two balls, no strikes, so certainly not easy street here in the 5th for Rodriguez. And you mentioned that maybe, just maybe, having to work away from the windup could cause some trouble for him.
Well, it's also, I mean, it's a double-edged sword when you strike out as many guys as he did, because you're using a lot of pitches. Consequently, you've kind of taken away the idea of going that deep into the ball game.
Two and one. Lamar at first. That is a strike, similar to the ones that he was pumping in that first at bat. Rodriguez to the former Rule 5 pick of the Sox from Tampa, Omar Narvaez. Two.
Had a good swing at that one. Unfortunately, fouled it straight back. That was another slider or a cutter that he kept away from him. 8 games in the major leagues, a couple that have ended, that are either 2-1 or 2-0.
Now, low-scoring day in baseball. Biggest number on the board right now is 4. 2-2. He got him, strike 3, outside corner. 11 strikeouts for Rodriguez. Very upper reaches up there. Good view.
Very nice.
True Chicago fans. Oh, popcorn. Take in the game. Beautiful night. 2-0 Boston. Steve Pearce to lead it off, then Martinez and Bogarts in the Red Sox 6th. And Steve Pearce, who debuted 11 years ago and has bounced around a lot to the Orioles and the Astros and the Yankees and the Orioles again, and Tampa Bay, Toronto, and now Boston. We kind of came out of nowhere in 2007 when he was first climbing the system in Pittsburgh. He was in Lynchburg, Virginia for all of 19 games. He started the year in A-ball. He hit 11 homers in 75 at-bats in A-ball. As Tim goes to the forehand and unloads for out number 1.
Terrific play by Tim Anderson as he coasts to his right. Gets just enough on the throw, realizing that Pearce is not a burner. Stays right with it and gets it across in time. Nice play with the off-balance throw. He's been doing a whole lot more of that lately.
Tim's decision has not been just throw it hard anymore or throw it quick. There is a thought process to which essentially type of pitch he's going to throw to first base.
Well, he's got a pretty good idea as he coasts to the baseball about how he wants to set up, and it's been a whole lot better recently. But I talked with him about it, and he said he just is much more confident. Has a feeling now where everything seems to have slowed down. It's all the work that he put in, and these are the end results of all of that work, and it looks really good defensively.
You can see it. You can see it in the clubhouse. He's being more demonstrative. He's being more of a leader, quote unquote.
I mean, that's his personality. It was just a question of his abilities and performance to catch up with that personality, and then he would be and will be a huge leader on this team.
Up the middle into center field, Martinez squares one up on 2 strikes. Hey, check out the Negro Leagues Baseball exhibition now through September 26th. Traveling exhibit explores the connections of African American baseball history to Hispanic cultures dating back to the late 1800s and is dedicated to the memory of Sox legend Minnie Minoso. You can find the exhibit in the Chicago Sports Depot, which is open every home game and 12 to 5 on non-game days. So you start researching the Negro Leagues, you don't necessarily realize how important Latin baseball history was to the Negro Leagues and how intertwined they are.
Well, you could see it all over the museum in Kansas City, where you see some of the greatest Latino players ever came up through the Negro Leagues, got an opportunity to play and made the most of that opportunity.
2-0 on Xander Bogaerts, who's been a doubles machine this year for Boston. Three balls and no strikes. Astros right now around Major League Baseball are trailing 3-1 to the Angels in the middle of the 5th. Houston a game and a half up on Oakland, which is home tonight for Seattle. That game at 8:05 our time. Ball 4, walk number 1 for Carlos tonight, and Nunez coming up with a couple on.
So Don Cooper is going to take a slow walk to the mound.
Sox have a 10-man bullpen now with Caleb Frere coming up. Hamilton making his debut yesterday. Aaron Bummer returning to the Sox after a stint in AAA for a couple of months. And less bench space in that bullpen.
Time now for StatCast AI, powered by AWS. And it is the home run from Eduardo Nunez, who reached down and took it out at 101.4 miles an hour. Just a line drive at 19-degree launch angle. And Ted Barrett, after taking a look at it, said it was indeed a home run. That put the Red Sox on the board for the first time, followed up by a Jackie Bradley Jr. home run. And that's all the scoring.
Nunez. Ground ball would be nice here. Broken bat. Moncada, a late break on the ball. He had to change direction. And we're going to get two out of that anyway. Martinez to third, Bogaerts to second.
No, the bat shattered and didn't come off the bat with a whole lot of velocity, so Yuan had just one play, that to his left. He was playing up the middle, had a long way to come on this broken bat little squibber. Able to control it and only think about that one play.
His first step was towards second base, and he recovered well.
Fortunately, that one didn't have a whole lot on it.
Xander Bogaerts having a good old time over there at second base.
Talking with Ted Barrett.
It's up to Ian Kinsler, who lined out to center and grounded out to third. First two times up. Strike one from Carlos. Kinsler had a 3-hit game in the opener on Thursday night, that 9-4 Boston win in which the Red Sox scored 5 in the ninth. In the air, right side. Yoan for round number 3, 2 stranded. Carlos steps through trouble. Bottom 6, still 2-0.
Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Eduardo Rodriguez has made chalk outlines of the White Sox so far in the first 5 innings.
He's been awfully tough, and everything is finding the spot exactly where he wants to throw it.
11 strikeouts tonight for Rodriguez. 1,313 strikeouts for the Sox offensively this year here on September 1st. And as you evaluate how the game of baseball has changed over the past, say, 20 years, the White Sox of 1998, so 20 years ago, struck out a grand total of 916 times as a group. And it was still a fairly lively era at that time, but that's 400 extra strikeouts with a month to go than 20 years ago. And then you go back to 10 seasons ago. The White Sox struck out 1,016 times. So that's still 300 fewer than the Sox have right now. And you see just how much the approach has changed, even in 10 years.
The Boston pen up and going with Ryan Brazier. He picked up a win in the first game of the series.
That's inside, so the count runs to 3-2. Payoff, scorched foul right side. We showed you the farm report earlier. GMC down on the farm tonight. Luis Robert 2 for 5. Nick Madrigal 1 for 4. Drew Hassler, Kurt's son, with the victory of the game. Drew's had a nice year. He's been piggybacking with starting pitchers. When they go short, he comes in. He's picked up some wins doing that this year. Second base, nobody's covering first. Pierce roved all the way over, couldn't make the play, and then nobody was home.
Well, look, Pierce is not an everyday first baseman, although he does play first base, but he had no idea where Kinsler was. And that's just not looking at where your second baseman is. He ranges to his right, and
well, he really didn't do anything.
No, I mean, well, for Rodriguez, somehow you got to find a way to break to the bag.
Pierce was just playing one-man zone defense there. He didn't really make a big-time effort at the ball.
No, he felt there was going to be a 4-1 put out, but the one didn't cooperate because he never got to the bag.
Off speed for a strike to Angle. (2-0) Boston on a couple of home runs.
Well, let's see if that little mental lapse will come back to haunt the Red Sox.
Second base slowly hit. Kinsler feeds second, and Bogarts. Sanchez out, Angle to first, and one away. Head to the ballpark. Dollar Hot Dog Wednesdays, September 5th. Sox take on the Tigers, 7:10 p.m. Brought to you by Securian Financial, who can help you make every moment count. Find out more at Securian.com. And for tickets, visit WhiteSox.com/DollarDogs right now. It's a lemon chill masquerading. What got in there? What is that? Is that a dog?
I saw maybe the tip of what appeared to be a dog.
I thought so too, yeah. I'd go dog. It's our new game called Guess the Food that you can't see.
There it is. Absolutely. Some form of tubular sausage.
Once again on Guess the Food, we're always winners. You can have the home game if it's ever created. Anderson, a foul ball. 0-2 to Tim, who struck out twice against Rodriguez. Top of the order, top 3 for the Sox. 0 for 6, 6 strikeouts. Cotton candy.
You can guess that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guess the Food, even more fun when you can see it.
A little easier anyway.
High fastball struck him out. 12 punch outs for Rodriguez, 1 short of a career high.
Tim is just not seeing the high fastball from Rodriguez. For whatever reason, he's just not seeing it. And it's been 3 at-bats. All strikeouts, the middle one called. However, he didn't adjust to the high fastball in the middle at bat either. So unfortunately, Tim hasn't had this happen very much this year. He's been swinging it pretty well. He's just not able to pick it up from Rodriguez.
Nicky Delmonico takes a low outside. Last time he did it, September 25, 2016 at Tampa Bay. 13 strikeouts, career high for Rodriguez that night. How many fastballs do you think the Sox have even squared up tonight?
Very few. They're just, I mean, for whatever reason, I think Rodriguez is a little stronger, spending all that time on the DL, but the boys just are not picking up his fastball. I mean, look, you're 11-3. You're doing a whole lot right. He hasn't pitched for quite some time, so he is strong, and that little extra jump on the fastball has made him not only deceptive, but just really tough to square up.
Left field. Benintendi can't get there. It's off the top of the wall and gives the Sox a chance at a run. Engel heading home. Proud of the plate is late. Thanks to the top of the wall, Nicky brings in a run.
.23 driven in by Nicky Delmonico, and he cuts the lead in half. He got this fastball, slicing it away from Benintendi in left field, and the biggest break comes right here. Hits the underside of the wall. Benintendi has to go get it, but he cannot get it there in time.
And not only is it not a ground rule double, but it also caused him to have to wait.
Wait and then jump at it, and that's going to be it for Rodriguez. He's going to depart. So as he walks out, so will we, and we'll be back. Our Sox have battled their way back into this, and Ryan Brazier comes on for the 22nd time. He's 1-0, ERA of 1.23. He inherits a tying run at second base. Looking in at Avi. There you look at the rest of the numbers, and they're equally as impressive.
We saw Brazier the other night. He'll throw you a lot of fastballs. Fastball slider pitcher. He guns in a strike at 96.
We saw 96, 97 the other night. Nothing wrong with the fastball.
That's where he sits. I mean, 96, 97. Nicky at second. 1 in, 2 out. High fastball for strike 2. So Eduardo Rodriguez tonight goes 5 2/3. He allows 3 hits, walked 1, struck out 12, and his lead is on the brink. Brazier on 2 strikes. Gets a pop-up first base side, foul territory. Pierce at the wall, goes into the crowd and can't make the play.
Well, that was quite an attempt at that one, as Pierce pretty much sold out to make that play. I don't think he came up with it. However, it was a valiant attempt as he leaped into the crowd, hitting just off the glove. Great attempt. Pretty much risking life and limb, because the rail and those seats will cut you up.
It's true. We've seen that with Todd Frazier. He did have the foot over the railing, though, so if he ended up making that catch, that ends up being a legal catch.
Yep, that would have been.
Fastball high, strikes him out. Garcia goes down, but Nicky cuts the lead in half. 2-1, the White Sox trail after 6.
Red Sox here for one more tomorrow, and then the Tigers come to town for 3. Those are 2 of them. A Ram upcoming schedule.
Sox make some defensive changes. Daniel Palka has checked into the game. Avisail Garcia is out, so Ryan Lamar swings over to right field. Daniel into left. Avi finishes tonight 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Vasquez, a big swing and a miss. Boston is 7 up on New York after the Yankees won 2-1 against the Tigers by virtue of just 2 hits in the game. One of which was a 2-run shot for Gleyber Torres, his 22nd home run of the year. There is Lamar moving over to right. Ryan will not be happy to hear that Michigan is taking it on the chin against Notre Dame. In that football opener, Ryan a big Michigan fan, although he's slightly defeatist nowadays. He seems to have memorized the last big win for the program against certain teams, and it doesn't make him terribly happy.
That can happen, though. You can go into a small little slump every now and then.
Fouled away by Vasquez, 1-2. Your alma mater today came so close.
Played valiantly, only to fall to the Illini.
The Golden Flashes can play some football now.
Well, in the world of covering the spread, they did.
1-2. And 2 balls and 2 strikes on Vasquez. Carlos Rodon tonight. 2 solo homers allowed. A little trouble in the 6th inning. He got through it with 3 balls on the infield after the Martinez single and the Bogarts walk. 2-2. Another foul. For the most part, staying away from Vasquez. Carlos 2-2 once again. It's downstairs. He laid off nicely.
That last pitch was a tough one to lay off because it really borderline anyway. And biting down and in, he was able to check it up and keep the at-bat alive.
Avi, the report is right knee soreness, so he is officially day-to-day as he comes out of this ball game. 3-2 is low when it gets away, so a leadoff walk for Vasquez. And we'll see what that triggers from the Sox bullpen wise as Bradley comes up, a guy who's hit a couple of rockets tonight. Seven hitters now who bat left-handed have homered against Carlos Rodon in his career.
That is a very small total for a man that goes out there quite a bit. He's looking at his finger now. It's be interesting to see if he is trying to raise a blister on that middle finger of his throwing hand. Our fourth drive of the game came in the 5th inning. And it's the first pitch. It's a slider with an exit velocity of 101.6. A line drive, his second hit of the night. And left-handers don't have comfortable at-bats against Carlos Rodon, but Bradley has had a couple of them.
Towering fly ball left field. Polka at the warning track, and Daniels there to make the catch.
That one didn't miss by much. Not much wind blowing. What little wind there is blowing toward the left field corner, helping that one, but it stayed in the ballpark.
Well, the storms have stayed north of us,
which is a good thing.
A real good thing. Don't need any more starts getting rained on, although people are going to start to think the weather has it out for Michael Kopech.
Well, hard to get to him in the late innings if he keeps on seeing rain limit him to 2 and then 3 innings in the last 2 home starts. The only 2 home starts.
Mookie Betts takes ball 1. So you're talking about raising a blister. What kind of maintenance can you do as a pitcher when you start to feel that on the mound?
When you've started to feel it, you can't do much. You hope at the beginning to file down that nail, making sure that you smooth out the edges.
This one hit to left center by Mookie Betts into the alleyway, and he's on his way to second. Vasquez to third. Ball bounces away, but not far enough as Carlos backs it up. And runners at second and third in the seventh.
Time now for IDOT safe play, reminding you that safe driving habits really are a matter of life or death. Mookie Betts drives this in the gap and then runs it into a two-base hit. The ball gets away, and a lesson to all you young pitchers: get yourself in line with the throw coming in. That ball got away from everybody. Carlos Rodon, right in line with the middle of the Red Sox dugout, was able to stop it from any further advancement. So Don Cooper now comes out as the bullpen starts to get loose. He wants a word with his talented young left-hander.
Just the fifth hit allowed by Carlos Rodon tonight. He's walked 2, he's struck out 4. And the bullpen has Burr and Bummer getting loose. Aaron Bummer went down when Xavier Cedeno was called up earlier this year. Cedeno now traded to Milwaukee. And Bummer back from AAA today. It would be Aaron's first appearance in the majors since June the 2nd. He'd given up only 1 earned run between May 6th and June 2nd, and he ended up getting sent down.
Unfortunately for him, the numbers game was just too much to deal with, but it wasn't because he was throwing it badly. Actually, he was starting to throw it better and better.
He's getting a lot of ground balls. Benintendi against Rodon, and strike 1. What do you think the message was from Don Cooper? You got 1 batter left?
Well, I think he told him this is going to be the last inning. Now, whether he told him this is going to be the last hitter, we don't really know. You got Pierce coming up next. But certainly he's going to say, empty it out, get me Benintendi.
On the ground, Carlos snatches it and throws high to first.
And Carlos can't believe it, but lollipop throws will absolutely kill you. There's no reason for them, and yet we see it all the time. As this one airmails Matt Davidson, Carlos is mad at himself. That opens up the lead to a 2-run lead. And we'll watch it again. It's E1. And that is something he's going to remember and hopefully not duplicate.
It's a nice reaction, and then the throw brings in Vasquez. He's so accurate for so long.
Sometimes you can't believe that you did something like that, but this is a game where you can't relax very much. Just about the time you think that you got it under control, something like that happens.
The game teases your focus. As there's ball 1 in the dirt. Well, Pierce is torture to left-handers, but if you bring in the right-hander Burr, Alex Cora most likely will pull Pierce, and you've got to deal with Mitch Moreland or Brock Holt.
Yeah, that's not something, at least for the moment, that Ricky wants. However, you got a huge hitter in the on-deck circle, but you can put him on first base if you can get by Pierce.
So this 2-1 game has morphed into 3-1 on a wayward throw to first. There's JD Martinez, the Triple Crown threat.
This is really where Carlos has to bear down and get his concentration back. As we've seen in the past, not so much this year because this year he has matured quite a bit. We've seen in the past sometimes when situations like this arise, he will just instantly lose that focus for a short period of time, and that can get you taken out of this game.
Two-one. Hard hit and through with the infield drawn in. Betts scores. Benintendi to third. And the Red Sox continue on in this seventh. And that'll do it for Carlos Rodon.
RBI number 32 for Pierce. We talked about the concentration, and that fastball is down the middle. Pierce, who's made a career out of torturing left-handers, takes it through the left side. And it's a 3-run Red Sox lead.
So Carlos leaves. And the Sox will go to the bullpen. J.D. Martinez, the opposition. Burr was out there loosening the right-hander. And indeed it will be Ryan Burr coming in. Nicky Delmonico has driven in the lone run so far tonight for the Sox, and he's had a nice early career against Boston. He had his first major league home run at Fenway Park, August 2017. It was important to him because of a previous visit to Fenway and the folks who were in attendance.
That ball hit hard, deep, way back. He looks up. You can put it on the ball. Yes. First major league home run for Nicky Delmonico.
Now that was very special for me. The last time I was there, I was watching the Red Sox play the White Sox as a kid with my brother. And so my first road game and my first time back since then was playing the Red Sox, you know, and I'm on the White Sox. And to be able to hit my first home run and get the ball back and give it to my brother, that was, for me, awesome. You know, he had waterworks when I gave it to him, and it was something just awesome to be able to experience that and have him there, and yeah.
He had waterworks, says Nicky
That's nice.
Delmonico.
Waterworks is good, yeah. Got a new pitcher in the ball game, and he has got to try to tighten it up. As Ryan Burr comes on for just the third time, he's given up nothing. 2 1/3 innings. And they've been fair to partly spotless. So he's got his work cut out for him. One of baseball's best, J.D. Martinez, in a stride to the plate when the warm-ups are complete.
Burr threw 2 nights ago. Hamilton threw last night. Burr again tonight.
Oh,
We've yet
no.
to see them pitch on the same day.
No. We can't.
You think that's against the rules?
Yeah, we have a Hamill and Burless edict.
You're saying the world would be turned upside down
Might be.
if they pitched on the same day. So the error in the inning expands the trouble, knocks Rodon out of the game after Pierce with the RBI single. So Martinez with Benintendi at third, Pierce at first.
Martinez has grounded into 16 double plays. 17th would look awfully good.
He absolutely corked a ball the other night for a 3-run homer late in that game. Just massive power in J.D. Martinez. Pierce at first, Benintendi at third. Up the middle, center field, that's a hit. Benintendi scores, Pierce to second.
RBI 115 for J.D. Martinez. He continues to roll right along. His second hit of the night takes it right back up the middle. And it's a 4-run Red Sox lead.
Boston scored 15 runs in this series. 15 of them. Most of that has come against the White Sox bullpen. The starters predominantly have done very well for themselves, although this inning will be against Rodon. 3 runs across against him here in the 7th. To third, Sanchez on the bag, on the swing for out number 3. That's the ground ball Burr needed, and we'll go bottom 7, 5-1.
Yolmer helps get out of the inning with a little ground ball. Step on third, throw to first, double play. And when you think of garages, think Danley's.
Well, when we started today, we thought maybe the rain would be an issue and thought maybe a doubleheader would be a problem. Instead, it's late offense again for Boston that's become an issue and a problem. On the anniversary of in 1890, the day the first ever triple header was played, as Moreland's in to go play first base. First ever triple header. The Brooklyn Bridegrooms against the Pittsburgh Alleghenies. They played 3 games in one day. That has since been outlawed for various reasons.
How'd those Bridegrooms do?
They won in straight sets. 10-9, 3-2, 8-4.
A couple of them were close.
Yeah, it's a heck of a day for baseball. Well, and the minors, they play double headers that are 7 innings long, and you wonder that maybe in the minors one day, if you want some more off days, you just play 3 5-inning games.
Now,
bring back the triple header.
I don't mind that, but not 5 innings.
No, we just have you on record saying you don't mind bringing back the triple header.
No, that's fine. As long as I don't have to play in them, it's terrific.
What about calling them?
Oh, no, definitely not calling.
You don't think so?
No.
So you agreed to...
I could call 2.5.
That's all you've got in you?
Yeah, pretty much. I run out of gas in the 3rd game normally.
You agreed to a triple header just as long as you have nothing to do with it.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That's the best way that I can think of a triple header.
Can't even get through the sentence. Shenanigans. 1 and 2 on Davidson, who singled in the 5th as the first Sox base runner tonight.
Meantime, that fastball that Avi went down swinging, that was 99 miles an hour.
Yeah, Brazier proving to be the king.
He's got a big arm.
One, two, chopped foul. Sox again tomorrow. It's a 1:10 start time. It is Hawk Day, a pregame ceremony for Hawk Harrelson. Game starts at 1:10 or thereabouts. Pregame ceremony. Get here early. You want to be here for the ceremony. Hawk will have some words for everybody.
And if you can't get here, watch on television, because Hawk is going to be broadcasting with A.J. Pierzynski tomorrow afternoon.
Special day for Hawk Harrelson, and also Hawk Harrelson nesting doll day at the ballpark. If you ever wanted to just take Hawk Harrelson and pull the top off and then see what's in, then you put the second one inside of the other one, and that's what it looks like. It can dance. You can play the hat game with him. Player Hawk, GM Hawk, announcer Hawk. As Davidson just clips it foul. You're never going to find, you're not going to find those anywhere. Like, you have to be here tomorrow to have that keepsake. Some special guests along the way as well.
There should be a few.
Or two.
Yeah, there should be a few of those, certainly. It'll be a wonderful day at the ballpark.
Three and two for Davidson. You have one of those things on the back of your phone to prop it up so you can use it as like a mini tablet there?
No.
Should get one of those.
No mini tablets for me.
Nifty device.
I like gigantic tablets or nothing.
Stone version. Literally. 3-2, ripped to center field. Davidson clubs this ball, and Jackie Bradley decides to take a mini nap here in the 7th inning thanks to the old turf monster. Replace your divot.
This is a rocket right back up the middle, and as Bradley goes to corral it, he goes down. Down goes Bradley.
That was the calmest fall you'll ever see.
Yeah. And then, well, he realized that Matt does a lot of things well, but one of them isn't run, so he took his time, got back, and made the throw back in the infield.
One on, nobody out. Yoan Moncada. Frazier in a 5-1 score. Ground ball through, base hit. 2 on, nobody out.
So promising start to the 7th. And Yoan takes it opposite field. Inside out swing. Shoots it by Nunez. And the Sox, our Sox, are in business.
Now Ryan Lamar, who walked last time against Eduardo Rodriguez, starter for Boston, who struck out 12 tonight.
Boston's bullpen starts to work again as Brazier digging himself into a hole.
Ball 1. So he throws ball 1 to Davidson. Matt on a 3-2 pitch singles to center field. Then Moncada ambushes the first pitch. And 1-0 to Lamar. Ryan right side. Bobble. Pierce recovers. Moreland, that is. And he makes the play to first for out number 1. Moreland off the redirect ends up making the play.
Moreland's a pretty good defender, but he was thinking about a double play before he got one. Brazier there to make the play, but both runners move up. Moreland's only committed 2 errors this entire season. It's 107 games. He's only made 2 errors, so he's one of the more dependable first basemen around.
One out, second and third. Narvaez against Brazier. Omar takes a called strike one at 98.
Boston Penn working with Robbie Scott and Joe Kelly.
4 first names in the bullpen.
Yep.
You never trust a guy with 2 first names. What do you believe about that level of honesty? 1 ball, 1 strike.
Omar's just ecstatic to see Rodriguez out of the game because he wasn't seeing the ball at all. I can't remember a game where he's called out on strikes first 2 at bats, but that was the case with Rodriguez, who was outstanding tonight.
He was just all over the fringe of the strike zone. Wherever he wanted to put it against Omar, he did. One and one. Breaking ball. A hefty cut, 1-2. Davidson at third, Moncada at second. Ball and 2 strikes for Omar. Big spot to tighten this game up. Struck him out. Fastball high. 14th strikeout for Red Sox pitching.
I think Omar expanded that strike zone. He wanted a high fastball. He got it. It was borderline on the outside corner or not, but he threw it right by him. So 3 up, 3 Ks, most unusual for Omar.
It's up to Sanchez. 14 of the Sox 20 outs so far have been strikeouts. That's a called strike, and that was high. It's been a pitcher's strike zone for the most part tonight for Lance Barksdale. Ryan Brazier, who had no job before the season, sent a mass email out to every team and got fewer than 10 teams to come to a tryout. The Red Sox liked him enough, and now he's an important part of this Boston bullpen. Time called.
Well, you can understand with his stuff. I mean, he's got a very strong arm, and he throws it around the zone consistently.
Check swing, ball up, 1-2. But it goes to show you, I mean, you have all this scouting. You have guys across the globe taking a look at who the next player is going to be. Then you get somebody who literally says, hey, come look at me. Not a third of the teams show up, and he's throwing 98 and on the best team in baseball.
The stuff is certainly good enough. I'm not sure how he threw during the tryouts when he was auditioning for these teams, but the stuff he's shown in this series, he could probably pick up a few jobs.
1-2 from Brazier. Struck him out. 15 strikeouts for the Red Sox through 7. Sox leave 2 on after back-to-back singles to start the inning. tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Sox left 2 on in the home 7th. So Ryan Bird to face Eduardo Nunez. First pitch breaking ball outside, 1-0. Burr, the first man out of the bullpen tonight, as the Sox now have 10 relievers, 4 left-handers, 6 righties. Into center, Angle is there. As expected.
That was a rocket that fortunately stayed up, and Adam Engel to his right, able to run it down pretty easily. Can't hit him too much harder than this, and Adam just coasts across and makes the play.
Mike Petriello from StatCast had an article today that had 10 reasons why the White Sox are one of the most intriguing teams in baseball.
It's pretty good.
Number 4, the White Sox are one of baseball's fastest teams. The Sox average sprint speed, 27.8 feet per second, is second best in baseball. So the Sox, according to that metric, are the second fastest team in baseball. Adam Engel is a major part of that. It's a cool story. It's based in numbers, but there's some extrapolations there. Jace Fry involved. Matt Davidson's pitching prowess, part of the discussion.
Very strong, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He had a remarkable year.
He's untouchable.
Has been to this point.
Might have to lobby for a rule change or two, though. There are some constraints on how many times you can bring a position player to the mound and then back in one inning. As that ball is hit well to left field. Polka at the warning track, and this ball is gone. Ian Kinsler with a 3-0 swing sends it out.
When you're as good a fastball hitter as he's been his whole career, you might as well give him the 3-0 green light, thinking you're probably going to see one. He did, and he hit it out of the park for his 14th home run of the year, 39th driven in. .30 fastball and gone. Daniel just runs out of room, and this one just keeps on drifting to the Vienna beef sign.
First run allowed in the big leagues by Ryan Burr on a Kinsler homer. And that's one of those, hey, that doesn't happen as much in AAA sort of situations.
No, you're not going to give, well, you're not going to find too many dead fastball hitters like Ian Kinsler. But he got the pitch. He's been so good at hitting all these years.
Ball and a strike on Vasquez. Couldn't pull the trigger. That's a strike. 1-2. Who's your first home run you allowed? Remember?
Larry Stahl. 2-0 changeup.
How'd you feel about that?
Not good. Second man I faced. Infinite ERA. Base hit. 2-run homer. Thanks for playing.
To first, Davidson for out number 2. While we're at it, let's quiz you on your own career. It's Sticks and Stone, brought to you by your local Volkswagen dealer or VWdealer.com. 1968, you pitched for Chatham on the Cape. Which former Sox manager is also a Cape League alumnus?
Really?
Uh-huh.
I'll say Robin.
Okay.
That's because his daughter throughout the first pitch tonight.
We'll see if Robin Ventura is the correct answer. The cliffhanger to beat all cliffhangers. The fact that we can't give you an answer right now is a bummer. 6-1.
On for the 27th time. ERA very good at 3.26. Opponent's batting average not quite where he would want it at 3.21.
First game since early June in the majors for Aaron Bummer. He spent the rest of the season at AAA Charlotte. Up and in to Jackie Bradley Jr. Court to center field. Angle. Warning track. No need to jump. He would have if you needed it. Didn't have to. Kinsler a home run. Bummer gets the out. Bottom 8 coming next.
Seventh time, he's 5-3. His ERA at 3.5. Bonus batting average just 191. 89 strikeouts in 56 in the third innings. He can rush it up there.
When he's not walking people,
Yeah.
he is really tough to beat. Mostly fastball, some curve, and a sprinkled in changeup is what you'll see from Barnes. The league is hitting .211 against his fastball. Average about 96 as he starts with a curveball for Engel. Former first-round pick out of UConn in 2011. With a fastball away. He got Connecticut to its very first super regional in 2011. One step away from the College World Series.
I would say with the arm he has, you can understand where he would dominate some folks.
Oof. Curveball in the air, right-hand side. Betts toward the line, still coming to make the grab for round number 1. And here's your answer to Sticks and Stone. You guessed Robin Ventura. It is. Love that swing.
I know where each and every one of the former White Sox managers played college baseball during the summertime.
You do. What an odd talent.
Yeah, that's it. See, right on the money. Robin Ventura. How about that?
So, where'd Ozzie play?
I have no idea. That was a flat-out guess.
Oh. Well, you held the line there.
Ozzie played in Venezuela.
You kept the ruse going so well.
It was a clever ruse.
Breaking ball low to Anderson. I have no comment on the clever. Old school Red Sox. Tim Anderson, 3 strikeouts. The Sox with 15 strikeouts tonight. Another curveball. We got some music going, maybe the radio. MLB app. Well, if you don't have your curveball working, you can just groove in 98.
Yeah, he's got a big enough fastball, and that breaking ball is so sharp that if he's getting it over the plate, not too many people are hitting it.
Off the corner, 3-1 to Tim. Need a pizza?
Well, apparently he delivers to the seat.
Flip foul, 3-2. You looking for large pepperoni? No, I just want somebody to talk to. Hey, come on over.
That's great, and nice of you to show up. And we will see you next game.
Well, the phone's coming out. You know what that means.
Yeah.
There's strike 3. We do have a disclaimer to pass along to you. If you're shown on our telecast, messaging and data rates may apply. He doesn't look terribly amused. Hopefully he's on Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Eventually, someone has got to be at the other end of that.
You would imagine,
You would
right?
expect. Unless it's a taped interlude.
Check swing, ball number 1. Looked like a raucous conversation he was about to have. Nicky's driven in the lone run tonight for the Sox. That was back in the 6th with 2 out, and Adam Engel aboard. He takes a strike.
The high-speed replay is powered by Xfinity. In the 6th inning, Nicky goes opposite way. That cut the lead in half at the time. Unfortunately, our Sox can get no closer.
Red Sox scored 3 in the 7th, 1 more in the 8th. As the home run ball has been a major part of their night with 3 solo shots. He wanted to check it up and couldn't. 2-2.
That appears to be a mid-80s curveball that is spinning so quickly that it's really hard to check it up once you've started your swing. Hitter's just not identifying breaking ball when it leaves his hand.
There it is again for strike 3. The 17th strikeout by a Red Sox pitcher tonight walks us into the 9th.
The Yankees, a couple of starts and he was absolutely brilliant against a very good offensive team. Didn't give up much of anything, just a couple of runs. And there you look at some spectacular numbers for Ronaldo Lopez.
If by the end of this season you don't know that Toyota's slogan is "Let's go places" or "We're going places," you really have not been listening very closely.
Or let's go places.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, a bunch of those things.
Places. That's up and in. Mookie Betts shattered a double in the 7th inning, lined out in the 3rd, struck out looking in the 1st, and reached on an error by Sanchez in the 5th after an 11-pitch at bat. Takes ball 3 from Bummer. One was masquerading as a strike, pitch number 1 in the sequence. Three balls and a strike. And it's fouled away. 3-2. It's game number 3 of the series. Game 4 tomorrow, 1:10 start time. Tim can't get there. Base hit for Betts.
This one not hit all that hard, but hit in a good spot. As Betts takes it back up the middle, Tim cannot get to it.
So Boston trying to stay where it's at in the division after the Yankees won earlier today against Detroit. Boston entered play today 7.5 up on New York. Two balls, no strikes from Bummer to Benintendi. There's a strike, 2-1 from Aaron. Again, he had a 3.26 ERA when he went down to AAA. 26 games to start the year with the White Sox, including one batter faced at Kansas City in March. His first appearance in that opening day 14-7 win. Only 6 walks in his first stint with the Sox here in 2018. Two balls, 2 strikes. Benintendi goes down swinging. 1 gone.
That slider didn't do a whole lot, didn't have to. He threw it by him.
Mitch Moreland in Pierce's spot. Steve Pearce finished with an RBI. He was 1 for 3. And Moreland nearly got pounded with that one. There's the shift that's on, forcing the Sox, if they want a double play, to do it through some odd positioning. Aaron's thrown ball 1 to every one of the 4 batters he's faced so far.
Been able to get away with it to this point. Not a good habit to get into.
Two and 0. Down the center for a strike. Challenged him inside and low. Moreland went after it, 2-2. Former Texas Ranger Mitch Moreland. Boston with 6 guys on the bench tonight, with rosters expanding to 40 today. Two. Up the middle. Could be 2. Tim got him. And to the top of the 9th on the double play. We'll go bottom 9. Sox need 5. Athletico.com to request your complimentary injury screening and have your pain or injury assessed by our experts for free. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of the Chicago White Sox. Athletico, better for everybody.
A new pitcher coming in the ball game. It is Joe Kelly on for the 62nd time. Been a pretty good year for him. 4-1 ERA of 3.79. Well, his batting average is 217. He can get it up there triple digits if he'd want. And overall, a big member of this Red Sox pen.
I'm a little surprised that it's him they choose in a 5-run game. Daniel Palka's first at bat. In for the injured Javi Garcia with some knee soreness. He is day to day. They've got 13 guys in the bullpen.
Yeah, they've got enough arms down there to last them.
Benintendi in left makes the catch for out number 1. 2 outs for the Sox to play with. Random White Sox leaderboard tonight. Most hits against the AL East. Harold Baines, 884. Frank Thomas, number 2. Ozzie Guillen, number 3. Carlton Fisk, number 4.
And the Cape Cod leads Robin Ventura at 512.
Ah, yes. Ozzie tormented that division.
How about that?
Yeah. All I'm saying with Kelly is he's a guy that you go to in your games when you really need a setup man to get you to Kimbrel. It seems like you could sneak an inning with somebody else here if you want to.
Well, Alex probably felt that Kelly might need an inning. I mean, he is one of their better relievers, however, but they've got a nice back end of the bullpen.
He's been throwing every other day. So Thursday, 17 pitches, Tuesday, 13 pitches, Sunday, 20 pitches. So on again, off again. Barnes hadn't thrown since Tuesday. And I guess in a 5-run game, when you want to try to take control of this series, you don't want to play with one of those guys that came up from AAA today.
No, I think that probably it's on the mind of Alex Corey is shut it down. Don't give him any momentum heading into tomorrow.
Davidson, right center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. gives way to Mookie Betts. And there's out number 2.
Bradley's probably going, if I lose the put-out race by 1, you're not going to hear the end of this, Mookster. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking that's what he might have said.
Yeah, it was a paraphrase for sure. Very good at thought bubbles. Yeah.
Very well be. I mean, he gave way.
2 down for Moncada. Go on 1 for 3. Yeah, that's upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. (1-0). Spoke gunned in at 99. So Eduardo Rodriguez struck out 12. Brazier struck out 3. Barnes 2. 17 strikeouts for Red Sox pitching tonight. That makes 39 for this series. That is 13 a game.
They get some pretty good arms.
Yeah, they do.
Wearing Red Sox uniforms. This will also end the streak of Carlos Rodon with 9 Straight quality starts. Game to an end here.
He did go 6 1/3. However, he allowed a bigger run total than you are able to get a quality start. 6 1/3, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. His ERA at 2.89.
Might have been able to actually get through this one, but for an errant toss that pretty much opened the door in the 7th inning.
It was a 3-run inning. Carlos had made a stab on what was going to be out number 2. He threw it away wide of first, and Davidson. And the Red Sox expanded the lead. Strike 3, punch out number 18 for Red Sox pitching, and Boston wins game number 3 by the count of 6-1. Too much Boston pitching. Rodriguez strikes out 12 to start the trend, and we will wrap it up for you when we come back.